Best DUI attorney, Rankin County, Mississippi. Call 601-773-7777.
Welcome to Ask a Lawyer with attorney Joey Franks at the Franks Law Firm in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Each week, Joey answers your questions about the law and how it affects you.
So, Joey, how does having a DUI affect my life moving forward?
The main way I see it affect people's lives is with education and careers. Sometimes people want to get into advanced educational programs, nursing programs, physical therapy programs, pretty much anything medical related or legal related. And that can be a hurdle they have to overcome. A good example is to become an attorney. I had to disclose every speeding ticket, every ticket I ever had in my life. Fortunately, I didn't have a DUI I had to disclose. And that can be a problem whenever it comes to going in front of the bar ethics committee. And again, we also see it in people's careers in the sense that they've gotten education, or maybe somebody wants to go and get a commercial truck driving license. Well, that DUI hanging back there can preclude them from doing that. And any job that requires you to have driving privileges, whether it's a traveling salesperson, a truck driver, a railroad worker, there are all kind of career fields out there that if you have a DUI on your record, then it's going to weigh you down and quite likely hold you back in possibly getting the job and likely in advancing through the ranks.
So what are the penalties?
DUI first is the most common one, and you're going to be looking at 48 hours in jail and up to $1,000 fine. And the fine minimum is $250. And I'm going to be honest, I rarely see that assessed whenever an individual is found guilty. And as you get more to a second offense DUI or to a third offense DUI and on, the penalties get pretty heavy pretty quickly, and it can end up being years in prison and no driving license for years after that. So it's always best to get a DUI defense attorney involved and let them work on your case from day one, because one, they can keep you from making statements that may be incriminating down the road. Second, we can find things that the police did wrong from pulling you over. I've had police say that they pulled a man over for taking a right out of a parking lot. Well, I hate to be the one to tell everybody this, but taking a right out of a parking lot is not an illegal act. Therefore, they had no reason to pull the individual over. So, getting an attorney involved from day one, sometimes we can make a phone call to a prosecutor and say, look, you really need to look at this file. There's some problems with it, and a good prosecutor will look at it and go, you're right, or, well, I respectfully disagree. But sometimes we can't get it handled that way on the head end. So
are there some rules the arresting officer has to follow?
Absolutely. There's always rules when it comes to a legal matter. And in this case, they have to prove that you are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's the highest burden that the law ever places on one party when trying to charge another party. And to start with, they have to have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to pull you over. Now, if you're speeding or you're swerving between the lanes, then that's going to qualify as reasonable suspicion or probable cause. But sometimes we hear things that are ludicrous from officers. See them in the reports, officers saying the tag was covered, I saw it from 200 yards away. Well, you got the best eyes I've ever heard of if you can see somebody's tag from 200 yards away. So absolutely, they have rules they have to follow. They have to be able to articulate that they smelled or observed you impaired. Quite often, one of the most common things we hear is, I approached the vehicle and smelled the odor of intoxicating beverages, or the individual was slurring their speech, or their eyes were dilated, the individual was acting funny, all kind of things. And here's the kicker. A lot of those can be attributed to medical problems individuals have. Certainly somebody that slurs their speech, they may have a speech impediment. Somebody that's having some eye issues, well, did they just have some kind of eye surgery or something like that causing that? Were they dilated recently? There's always something to look at from the claimant's perspective. And that's where we come in as defense attorneys and we represent the individuals that are being charged for these crimes, and we make sure that the officers are playing by the rules. Because even when they give you the big intoxilizer at the station, there are certain things they have to do to calibrate that machine. There are certain things that they have to do once they've actually given you the test to prove that the test was valid. On the side of the road, they have to be able to articulate what cues you missed. Did you take one step forward too many? Did you not go heel to toe? Did you not hold your leg up long enough and lose your balance? There are all things that they have to abide by to actually prove someone is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And like I said, that's a very high burden to meet.
All right. So is this going to cost me a lot of money?
I'm going to be honest, there's no way this comes out as a cheap event. If you are found not guilty, obviously that is the absolute best outcome. But there's no attorney out there that can guarantee you an outcome one way or another. What I tell clients is you're looking at somewhere between a $250 to a $1,000 fine. You're looking at approximately another $250 in court cost. And if you have any other tickets that accompany a DUI, which is very common to have a speeding or failure to yield, something like that going along with it, then you may be looking at more fines and penalties related to that. As far as hiring an attorney, it's pretty good chance you're not going to find a reputable DUI defense attorney that will handle the matter for less than $2,000. If you do, I would have some serious questions for that attorney, and because you got to remember, there's going to be at least one court appearance, if not two, involved here. And you want an attorney that's going to put the time and the effort into something. When you pay me good money, I'm going to go work hard and do a good job for you, because I want you to recommend me to everybody you know. I want to walk in the courtroom and I want to dominate the courtroom. And I want you to walk out a winner. I love winning. And I'm willing to put the time and effort into it. And I'm not worried about whether or not my clients paid me sufficiently, because they have. I've negotiated a deal from the very beginning, and they're going to get the absolute best out of me, and I'm going to put their hard-earned dollars to work for them.
Thanks for listening to Ask a Lawyer with attorney Joey Franks at the Franks Law Firm in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Call attorney Franks for a free consultation at 601-773-7777. His website is thefrankslawfirm.com.